So you're thinking about touring on the Triumph Street Scrambler, and my advice would be just don't do it. And that's coming from somebody who's just come back from a 550-mile motor camping adventure, and here's why. Yes people, welcome back to another video. I'm Bash and this is Nomad Scrambler. Today we're talking all about things to consider before your first motor camping adventure on the Triumph Street Scrambler. Now, I'm going to jump straight into it, but I've kind of been open about the fact that I don't really like motorway riding. I think there's much better roads out there than motorways, especially for bikers. You can't have fun on motorways anymore. So when it comes to touring, yes, you're going to spend a lot of time on the motorway, but the payoff at the other end needs to be worth it, in my opinion, in order to go on those kind of adventures. I'm not one for going in straight lines. The first thing you need to consider about going on a tour with the Triumph Street Scrambler is what kind of luggage you're going to take. Now, if you're going for a couple of days, yes, you could throw everything into your backpack and that will do nicely. However, like I was saying, on my 550-mile motor camping adventure, if I'd have been wearing a backpack, my back would have been in pieces. So the only thing that I could do, rather than wear that backpack all the time, would be to get some kind of luggage that will fit onto the luggage rack on the Triumph Street Scrambler. Now, there's different price ranges, and obviously the quality you're going to get in those price ranges varies a lot. Now, the bag that I was using was the Rhino Walk 45-litre roll top bag. Now, this is a good mid-range bag, I'd say. It comes in at about £50. It fits onto the Triumph Street Scrambler's luggage rack absolutely perfectly, and it secures on with the 4 straps, so you can just have the straps on there when you're just riding around the town when you get to your destination, and then you can strap the bag on in about 2 seconds and be ready to go on to your next destination. However, again, like I say, it is a mid-quality bag. This is as somebody who is just getting into the touring world as well, and I don't think that if I was going to be doing this a lot, I would want to use that kind of price range for my luggage. If I was going away on like a multi-day trip where I didn't have the ability to just get home quickly if I needed to, say I was going into Europe, I'd probably look more towards the lone rider kind of level of bags, as they are meant to be just the next tier up, I'd say. Like, they're in that £100 price range, but the quality obviously improves massively with the jump in price. The next thing to consider is, what are you going to do with all of your valuables? Are you going to have them in the pockets of your jacket, i.e. your passport, your wallet, whatever you might need while you're away, your phone, all of those things? Where are you going to put them while you're riding? Now, for me, every time I go away on these tours, it's going to be for content. Now, when it comes to filming content, there's obviously a lot of stuff that you need to consider. I need to carry some kind of mobile tripod to get some like B-roll shots if I'm not taking a DSLR camera. I need to take an actual tripod if I'm taking my DSLR camera. I need somewhere to put my DSLR camera, the Osmo, the 2 Osmos that I'm running, the DJI mics, all of that stuff, so I can keep them charged when I'm not filming. Now, the next thing that comes along with that is, when I get to my destination, i.e. when I went to Wales, I had 2 options. I could take all of the cameras with me in my jacket's pockets and be weighed down with all of this heavy camera gear on me all the time, and that was 2 cameras, 2 sets of batteries, the DJI mics itself, and a mobile tripod for all of the content creation that I was planning on doing in Wales. Now, I could have left them in my roll top bag, or I could have carried them with me. Ideally, though, I would consider getting something like this. This is my new £70 Amazon tank bag, and it's magnetic, so every time I get on the bike, I can simply place it on to the bike in the same spot in the middle of the tank, where it's nice and visible to me. It comes with a nice little rain cover as well, and then when it comes to getting off the bike, I can take it off and I can apply the little strap that comes with it, and then I've just got like a little grab bag almost that I can take with me wherever I go. The next thing to consider is accommodation. Now, if you're like me and you're doing the whole motor camping thing, you've got to consider how you're going to get your tent there. Now, for me, that Rhino Walk bag has the perfect ability of being able to strap a tent to the top of it, which makes it pretty decent for when it comes to carrying the tent around. Now, my suggestion would be do a couple of days in the tent and then maybe look for an Airbnb. You can pick them up quite cheap. When I went to stay in the Lake District recently, I found an Airbnb for £65, which is absolutely pennies when you think about it, considering that some Airbnbs in the Lake District can go for like £200 a night. And if you are going to do those multi-day trips, sometimes it's quite nice just to have the ability to kind of recharge all of your kit, and maybe even do some washing to kind of lessen the amount of clothes that you're gonna have to bring with you on that motorcycle trip. Oh, I love these twisty roads, man. If you aren't already, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 2k followers on YouTube by the end of the year, and it would mean the world to me if you can help me out and help me reach that goal. The third thing to consider when it comes to your touring is your route planning. Now, when we went to Wales, we actually tried using Calimoto, and it was absolutely amazing at finding all of these twisty roads and twisty routes. However, some of them were kind of questionable at best. Like, they were single lane roads where you couldn't tell what was coming towards you. Obviously not ideal when you're on a motorbike and you're laden down with kit. On top of that, we were looking for a nice mountain pass route through into Snowdon, because we wanted to hit 2 mountain passes, get 2 videos out of it. Oh my god, it's like we planned the content side of things, and we took a wrong turn. For some reason, the one time I need signal, my phone didn't have anything, and I couldn't actually work out where it was trying to take us. And then, like, we missed our turn and it wouldn't reroute us because we had no signal. It just became a whole thing, which obviously was not ideal when we were battling on our last day to get these 2 shoots done. So we ended up switching over to good old reliable Google Maps. Now, I don't see anything wrong with Google Maps. I think it's a great tool. I mean, it's a great tool for getting about. However, it's not the best for finding those twisty roads, those mountain passes, all the things that you want to do while you're in those amazing places, possibly even those once in a lifetime riding spots. So I'd highly recommend that you maybe download Calimoto to route plan, but then plot it all in Google Maps to kind of save you those different, you know, those unexpected glitches, because sometimes Google Maps does a better job of rerouting when there's no signal. The next thing that I would consider when going on a touring adventure is, if you're like me and you like to wear a dark visor, not just to hide who you are, but also because it matches your helmet better, i.e. black and grey looks pretty sweet. So you need to consider what you're going to do when it gets dark. Me and that 09 SP, we got caught out multiple times in the dark, or in the dusk mainly, where we were riding back from dinner and we didn't have a clear visor on us. Now, carrying a clear visor with you is going to take up so much space in that valuable 45 litres in my case, and even less in his case, because he was just using a top box. We didn't really want to take that kind of space up with that other visor to switch out, and then it comes the thing of, where do I carry it when we're going out for these rides and we're not carrying all the gear? So we came up with a solution. Just carry a set of hardware store safety glasses. And I was like, that can't be a thing. Like, how is that going to help me when it comes to night riding? Well, let me tell you something. Having those safety glasses is basically like having a cheat code. You can kind of use them in the night time, open up your visor, stick the safety goggles on, you've got clear lenses, your eyes are protected from bugs, and you're going to get some cool air in as well, which is quite nice as well. The next thing to consider is where you're going to eat, how you're going to eat. If you're going to do a couple of days, yes, it might be fine to just go ahead and just kind of eat out. That's all good because you're only there for a few days. But if you're going to be doing a multi-day, multi-different site camp, are you going to want to take the risk on local food every single day, or is that going to get a bit too expensive for you? Personally, I'd do a mix. Sometimes I like to eat out, but then I'd also take a little jet boil with me, or some kind of similar small fold-away camping stove. The reason I like the jet boilers is it's that self-contained unit. If I'm just boiling some water to make those camping rations, I can do so quite easily. And if I'm cooking a bit more of a fancy meal, I could make like chorizo pasta, something like that in there with a load of veg and just, oh, goodness inside it. It'd be really good. Yeah. And then all I've got to do is carry like a little spork or like a knife and fork with me. And I've got everything that I could have wanted when it comes to cooking. Yeah, so if you are going to go down the whole cooking yourself route, thinking about how to store that food as well. Obviously it's going to have to go into your luggage somewhere, or are you going to buy it locally each day? Those could be some massive things to consider, especially if you're going into some more remote places for your motor camps, i.e. the Highlands of Scotland, the North Coast. Are there going to be those shops everywhere, or are you going to have to think a bit more ahead and carry something like a little cool bag? Now personally, you've got like the little Parkside middle aisle cool bags that fit nicely into a 45-litre roll bag, or you can go on Amazon and pick up a small cool bag as well, and that's going to work absolutely fine for a few days of just motor camping. Next thing to consider is taking tools. Now me and that 09, we didn't take any tools with us on this motor camping adventure, and it was only in hindsight that we kind of realized quite how bad that could have gone should we have come up against some kind of problem. Now luckily for us, we didn't come up against any problems. Both of the bikes worked absolutely flawlessly, and we managed to get through the whole 2 days of motor camping. I know, whole 2 days of motor camping without any issue. But it could have been a completely different story if we were on some older machines that have a tendency to break down, or like they're carbureted and the carburetor got blocked for whatever reason. Could have been poor maintenance, what have you. Like, that could be a massive showstopper. It could almost end your trip early because you didn't prepare. So I'd recommend to grab yourself maybe like the Oxford toolkit, something small, something that you can just throw in your bag, throw in your tank bag, and then you've always got it should you need to do any maintenance nice and quickly on the side of the road, or something as simple as a wing mirror coming loose. So you might need a tool to do that up. And the final thing that I would say that you lot need to think about before touring on the Triumph Street Scrambler is the fuel tank range. Now this tank is not the biggest, and sometimes, especially in foreign countries, you can go miles and miles and miles without petrol stations. And if you are going to be doing these longer road trips where there is a possibility that you might run out of fuel for whatever reason, if you are doing these longer trips where you might run out of fuel, or you might be pushing the range of the Triumph Street Scrambler, you need to consider whether or not you're going to opt to carry spare fuel with you in one of those like little jerry cans, or plan your route accordingly and plan off the smallest tank capacity, i.e. this is a 900cc, it has like a 9-litre tank, very small tank for a 900 in my opinion. It absolutely drinks it, especially when you're riding spiritedly, and if you're going away with the right sort of people, you're going to be going through a few full tanks of fuel. And believe me, in 2 days I think we filled up like 7 or 8 times, because we were just hammering these tanks of fuel, just every little twisty road we could find, sending it, having fun, playing around. And the stuff that these motor camping holidays are for, man, and like I could not recommend it enough. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you learned something about what to consider before going touring on the Triumph Street Scrambler. If I've missed anything, let me know in the comment section below, as you might help someone out who is about to go on that massive motor camping adventure. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you aren't already, and ring the bell so you get notified or when I post new videos. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.